Good evening, cousin Tyler. How are you this evening?
What is up, everyone? Good evening, Duggar.
Uh, we got a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about.
We do. We got this brand new layout. GT was hating on us.
Good for you, by the way.
GT was
Don
hating.
was hating on us too. Don was hating too. He said we looked stupid, and I'm like, wow, that's aggressive, but fair.
Yeah.
But honestly, great. You kept calling yourself smart. I kept saying bring yourself back down to earth a bit. But you do look good. It looks good. It looks good. It's a lot better than a black screen. So
I think this is probably the first of many iterations, but it's a start.
It's a work in progress, but honestly, firework today, brother.
I just like putting I was really proud of myself when I put your name on the TV.
I'm gonna put your name on the TV.
I gotta be honest. I'm sitting there. I'm putting his name in the TV. That you looking back.
I just looked back to see if it was on there.
That's the next step. Is getting like a logo. You put like a little USB stick.
Yeah. That's bad. It's a bad look for me. That was not good for me.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I'm excited for this podcast, though. Honestly, I've been geeking out about it all day, especially with all the different things that happened today, just today.
Yeah. So there's obviously, let's start with a recap of the CDL because for the major one, there's a lot to unpack there. Kind of. Our picks are not very good, by the way. I don't know if you remember that.
No. Especially looking at the bracket now. We had the Miami Heretics going basically into the semifinals in the losers bracket, and they got double bounced.
Yep. They
didn't win a map.
I'll take a lot of heat for that. I was very big on them, so that's on me. That one's me. That's my fault.
They didn't win a map.
No, they
got slammed twice.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me that I'm not very smart. But yeah, bad on my part. Bad, just really bad.
We did have FaZe. I think Ultra was the surprise here. Not in the fact that they ended up winning, but as far as our bracket goes, we didn't have them placing nearly as high.
Right. We also had the New York Subliners going pretty far.
And they also got slammed.
Twice. They also did not do very yeah. Again,
second time by Glacier. Glacier was looking good.
Yeah, I think that team's actually I didn't realize it, but they as they made the roster changes, they were kind of pissing on people.
They were doing really well. I actually thought that they were going to beat Seattle. I bet them to actually beat Seattle in the second round, and it was close. I mean, 3-2. It ended up being closer than I thought. I actually thought Royal Ravens 3-1, 3-0, based off of how bad Seattle looked.
Yeah, Arcity's just retire, dude. Just give it up, man. Hang him up.
Not fit. It's just not. He's just too slow. And I think that was his problem on FaZe, and then it's still that's what it is now. And I mean,
I thought you were gonna say he's not fit. I'm like, obviously,
his player's not fit. Yeah, it translates into the game.
Translates. I was like,
so who do you think? Obviously, I am a fan of Optic, purely based off of Pred. But as far as what you saw this weekend, I know you, me, Ryan, and he who shall not be named was we're all in the group chat
watching it pretty intently.
What would you say was your biggest takeaway?
Just how dominant Toronto was the whole weekend. It felt like I don't like him. I don't like Scrap. I am not a fan of him. I think he's kind of a douche. But again, this is my personal opinion. But they were so clean, the whole entire weekend. So that was my biggest surprise. I didn't think they would get past FaZe. They did it twice. I mean, it's just kudos to them. Hate it, but kudos to them.
I was actually after this weekend, how I kind of rank it up is you have S tier Toronto, you have A tier FaZe, you have B tier Optic, and then everyone else.
Everyone else.
Toronto is clearly above everyone. There's no debating that. And then FaZe is kind of right there with them, but just not there. And then same thing with Optic. Optic and FaZe to me are not on the same level.
Correct. I think Optic could be.
Yes.
But
yeah, I think they'll eventually get to that A tier. But
I don't know if they're missing something or if like maybe they just weren't clicking. I don't know. But I think they're right on the cusp of that move up to the A tier.
I agree. Sure. And then it's just everyone else.
Like, yeah, I mean, no one else matters at this point. I mean,
dude, the pacing that Toronto can put on you, but still, like, they know when to pull it back. You know, when they need to play kills. I mean, they didn't lose a hard point or a search and destroy the entire weekend.
Yeah,
that's like insane.
They were just so dominant the entire weekend.
And coming into this, they were hyped as, you know, the best control team. Last year, I think they may have lost like 1 or 2 maps in control. But to come out and be as dominant as they were in search and destroy and hardpoint was insane.
Yeah, I mean, it was just immaculate showing by them.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, like I said, good for them. Not a huge fan, but good for them, I guess. We'll see what Major...
Scrappy talking reckless.
Dude, I just don't like him.
I just don't. He's a New Jersey boy. That's why you don't like him, I bet.
Probably.
You know he's from Jersey, right?
That's probably why I don't like you. I think so.
My man's from New Jersey, but I think honestly, like with this tournament, there was a lot of... It was fun, but if you look at the board, dude, the amount of 3-0s, 3-1s. Like, I remember Vanguard, almost every game felt like it went to game 5. Yeah, it was just... This game just doesn't feel as competitive as some of the games in the past.
I think that'll even out as time goes. I mean, it's still relatively new to an extent. I get these guys are pro players. They've been scrimming constantly. But, like, I think that evens out at some point, whether it be Major 2 or Major 3, where it's going to be a little bit more competitive. But I think some people probably just got the game sense immediately and, like, okay, like, this, I'm a god at this game. And then, like, even just in our friend group, think of it this way. Like, you have, like, the couple guys around my mini league season who just were miles ahead of everybody else. But they also just play a lot. But so we'll see.
Your
how
teammates from the mini league.
Yeah, baby.
The Diamond Boys.
Yeah, baby. Christ. Diamond Boys. Gotta love them.
So one of the big storylines coming out of it, you know, something that we actually like kind of laughed at and we're talking about when it happened was the whole Illy situation.
Yeah. Kind of wild. That man was tweaking on stage, dude.
So with that, right, I'm in the car today, and you know when it happened, I'm kind of laughing at it. I'm just like,
right,
all right, you know, like it's gonna be meme worthy. It's gonna be a viral moment. Like, I'm not gonna worry about it. Like, it's not gonna keep me up at night, or I'm not gonna think about it after that day. But I'm in the car today. And this video, like, I do a lot of driving. So as I'm driving, this video comes onto YouTube. It was like the next video. And we're going to take a look at it. You haven't seen it yet.
No,
I have. I have plenty to talk about this. But basically, it was a guy that I guess I don't know. I don't necessarily dislike him, but after this video, I'm going to have some thoughts.
Okay.
But we're going to watch some of this video. We're not going to watch all of it. I think you'll get the point after the first, couple minutes, but then we'll kind of react to it and talk about this situation because it was big news apparently coming out of the weekend. So we'll start it right now.
What is up, peeps? Welcome back to the channel. These are never fun videos to do.
And if you want me to stop it, just let me know.
Today with that, a big conversation ongoing after this first major of the Call of Duty League season around a pro player, that being Illy. Widely known, guys, a very well-known and a very good player who is under a lot of fire.
I want the record to show I don't really love this dude. You don't got to stop it or anything, but I don't love this dude.
No.
And at first, I also want to clarify, I was thinking maybe this was someone who was a bit more nervous, someone who was a bit anxious when giving interviews in front of hundreds of people live and in front of tens of thousands of people online. That was my first thought, but the general public and their sentiment was very different after this clip, which is, again, pretty difficult to watch.
Honestly, we just believed, like I literally said believe, like I literally said start playing tighter towards that doesn't matter, but we got the piece P4, we got the castle row, And we just believed, and then we ended up breaking.
It's probably so hard to concentrate while
dude, it's
like that.
You believed out there, okay? You came through, but you're still in this tournament. You got one more match tonight. For the few fans out there who are supporting y'all, even though y'all on the villain arc, what you want to say to them?
Appreciate the support for the real supporters.
It was quickly after this clip where speculation began online, and I was trying to almost skirt around talking about this. That is until you have Warzone pro players and streamers and former Call of Duty pros giving their potential thoughts and opinions on this situation. I would have to say maybe this warrants some type of investigation, whether that be for the outcome to be that Illy was not on something, or whether it's the opposite of that. Also, the fact that Illy has now responded and refuted all of those allegations or speculations of him being on Adderall or abusing some sort of substance. He has now taken to Twitter to say, nope, it's not what you guys think. That's just a lot of caffeine. And I think that really further sparked and added a lot more fuel to this already ongoing fire, because I consume a lot of caffeine. A lot of the general public consume a lot of caffeine. And although I am not an expert on the symptoms of Adderall abuse or those kind of substances, I'm not going to pretend to be. To then come out and call that caffeine, I think you're going to turn even a lot of more people's heads wondering, like, what is actually going on. Now, going through a lot of the comments, I do feel bad in a situation like this, on the off chance that this is just nerves, this is just anxiety. It's not easy giving interviews in front of a home crowd or any kind of crowd or people watching online. That is certainly a nerve-wracking experience, to which a lot of people have already stitched together some of his old interviews, where admittedly he does seem a lot more well put together than this latest one. But again, it's tough to watch. But people are doing this.
Who is back in the building?
All right, so that's where I'm gonna pause it. Yeah. You go ahead, because I'm gonna rant.
Okay. So here's my thought. I mean, dude was on something. Like, I don't care how much caffeine you say you had. Like, there's no way you could drink 7 Mountain Dews and you're not fucking out there with your eyes all bugging out and shit. And maybe it's a part of social anxiety. Maybe I get that. I've had to do like presentations in front of like 100. I mean, this is more than 100 some odd people, but like same thing. Like in my everyday life, I've had to do that, and like it just kind of fucked me up for like, oh shit, like this is wild. But again, I'm not out here bugging out and shit. I don't know. I mean, if it's a real problem, probably should seek some help. If you're out here just popping addies like there's no tomorrow, like, you know, that seems like a little bit more than just caffeine. If realistically, what he should have said was in his tweet, instead of saying I was on caffeine. Okay, like 85% of the world is gonna think you're an idiot. But you know, do you, buddy? Do you? Just say you're socially anxious and walk away, but also seek help if you'd actually. But go ahead with your rant, brother. That's all I got. Right?
Dude, this is such a disgusting take. And here's like, you have to go back a year and like really take a look at like the whole picture here. Okay. Illy literally is the fall guy at Optic last year. Okay. They want him out. I mean, it's like the Optic fans are basically calling for him to get traded, released. I mean, you name it. All of it. The guy is on the chopping block, finally gets released, right? He gets basically fired from Optic. Let's just put it as it is. Yeah. Now this guy is coming back, right? And he's fighting for his job, basically. Like, people got to understand that, like, for them, this is what they do. Like, they don't have... This is it for them. Like, this is their job. So when you put that into perspective, they get absolutely piss slammed first day. And after that night, I don't know if you remember, everyone's like, blow this team up. They're done. They're going to be out. So now you put all of that together, all of it, right? Right. You're nervous as all hell. You probably haven't slept. You're sitting there all night. You're getting tweets. You're getting DMs. All this kind of stuff, right? He's probably slamming Red Bulls. He's slamming Monsters. I'm not saying that there's a odd chance that an Adderall or two may have popped into his system.
Right.
But to act like he's sitting there like injecting himself with heroin, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like it's Adderall. Like it's not Coke. It's like
right. Yeah.
I get it. Like, but in the grand scheme of things, is Adderall going to ruin this kid's life? Even if that's the case. And I'm personally going to go out on a limb here and say that probably wasn't. He can't, like, if you really, like, I have a little bit of social anxiety, right? If you look at someone that kind of has that kind of, like, you can, if you've experienced, you know what that looks like. He's not looking up. He's looking at his feet. He's looking at his hand. Yeah. Like, my man is literally just trying to say whatever he's got to do to just get off. Just get off that stage. And for Jake to sit there and literally like be like, this is a drug problem, like we need to like what?
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel like it's a heartless, ignorant take on something that one he knows truly nothing about, like nothing, and you're not taking into account the pressure that this kid had for almost a full year. Like a full year at this point of having to literally fight for his career, and for it to culminate in that, like, don't get me wrong, he was tweaking. Like,
yeah, there was some shit going on.
I know how I am when I haven't slept and I'm under a lot of stress. Mix that with maybe a Adderall or 10 monsters, one. Like. Dude, I was heated watching that because, like, it seemed like it was a clickbait video to try to go after someone in a moment where they were vulnerable, and like to me, that's ooh.
Yeah, like I'm all about having discussion about things, like, and saying like, hey, look, here's my perspective on it,
right?
And like you saying like, hey, how he's under all this pressure and like stuff like that. Like, yeah, okay, that's definitely a determining factor that I didn't think of. So, like, yeah, I'm sure he's probably just, like, a ball of anxiety half the time he plays, and then this is the first time you're on the main stage in I don't know how many months, so it's like, I get it.
And you just got slammed. You got slammed to the point where everyone was like, blow this team up, they're all terrible, send them all to challengers, get rid of everyone. And you get a 3-2 win against a team that was essentially favored to beat you.
Yeah.
And then they put a microphone in your face.
Yeah, so like, if it was me, I'd be like, dude, I ain't doing no fucking interviews. Like, see ya, like, talk to somebody else, man. Like I gotta go collect myself a bit.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I mean, it seemed like it was a lot more than just 150 Red Bulls, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, dude, hopefully for his sake it is.
Even if it was, I'm sitting there watching it. Like, I'm watching that video and I'm seeing his reaction of like a disappointed father, and I'm like, dude, are you what?
Yeah, like you're the judge, jury, executioner for this guy.
What?
Like, come on,
and there was like,
I don't like the J guy anyway, but
and everyone, like, if you look at those comments, not one of those comments was like an attack or like a serious statement like degrading Illy. It was like poking fun at a situation that happened.
Right.
We're all like, I was making fun of it. You and me, I forget who actually sent the video, and we were like, dying. Oh, this dude's tweaking.
We're dying.
But I didn't sit there and go, oh man, this guy needs help. Like, this guy, no one was serious. Like, we're all just sitting there like, yo, my man is like, he is on one right now.
Bugging, dude. My man is bugging. Yeah, I mean, so my last thought on it is, like, if you do have a problem, seek help if you need it. Like, if you do, like, outside looking in, I was laughing a lot. It's funny. It's good content. But, I mean, if it was just a shit ton of Red Bull and social anxiety, damn, brother.
Like, dude, the mind is crazy. I'm telling, like, you getting into that spot, like, you're
on stage. You're on the spotlight.
You're absolutely helpless. You're just sitting there. You're just like, you're in fight or flight.
Yeah, that's true.
You're either like, dude, I'm either running off this stage or like, blah, 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 like what he was doing.
I'm doing whatever Illy did. So,
but
I mean,
in just the reason I wanted to kind of go through this, it was just like, to me, dude, there's things that you do for clicks.
Yeah,
that ain't it, man. Like
that's not
ain't it.
The one. Especially coming from that dude. Like, that dude's kind of a loser.
I've seen some of his stuff, and he seems like one of those guys that's like a clickbait guy. I remember when he was going after iShow Speed, and they did like a whole like live stream.
Yeah.
Do you know who iShow Speed is?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
watched the video. He's nuts. He's fucking wild.
Crazy. I watched a video of him like trying to do some science experiment in his room, and like they had to evacuate his house and shit. I was like, what are we doing? Like, what's going on here? But I don't know, man.
He's like one of them clickbait guys. But in other news, there was a release today from the Call of Duty blog. Basically, what some people before they even read it was like, look at that bombshell. Look at this bombshell coming in from Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Basically, it was an update on how they basically do skill-based matchmaking in the most vague way possible.
Right.
Did you take a look at?
I didn't see the blog that they wrote. I went through some other article that like basically recapped it, I guess you could say, like kind of what they've done in the past, like what Call of Duty said like they've done to like why they think skill-based matchmaking is the best way to do it. But yeah, go ahead with the article that you were talking about, then I'll
this is straight off of Call of Duty's website. This is their own blog, and it's titled Call of Duty Update, an Inside Look at Matchmaking.
Mm-hmm.
So this graphic is what the factors are as far as what happens when a match is being created in multiplayer. So you have all of these different things, and they rank them. So the first one is connection. So as a community will attest, ping is king. Connection is the most critical and heavily weighted factor in the matchmaking process. That's fine. Makes sense. Next. Time to match. So this factor is the second most critical to the matchmaking process. We all want to spend time playing the game rather than waiting for match to start.
Correct.
Cool.
Makes sense.
Got it. 3. So the following factors are all kind of meshed together for their third most important matchmaking process. So playlist diversity. So this is where it kind of gets interesting. And it's really up to interpretation. So playlist diversity, the number of playlists available for players to choose from. Okay. There's plenty of playlists all the time.
Right.
Recent maps and modes, considering maps you have recently played on, as well as your mode preferences. So everyone is able to edit their quick play settings. Like say you just want to play search, you can do that, and then you'll just get that. What I thought was interesting. So like if you just played, Karachi S&D, they're not going to put you in another Karachi S&D.
Yeah, like ideally it should change you to something like Terminal or whatever.
Again, thumbs up.
Yeah.
Here we go into skill and performance. So what they say is that, obviously there's a wide skill range. So they look at your input device. So if you're using a controller or mouse and keyboard, what platform you're on, voice chat enabled or disabled. Kind of interesting. I don't know how you can gauge if that's actually happening or not, because at least from a platform perspective, if you're playing on console, you can just play against people against console.
Right. You don't have to have crossplay turned on, I thought.
Which I've heard that the best, most competitive games that you could play at the higher level, like I heard Octane was talking about this, get a PS5 and grind all the way up to top 250, and you're going to play scrims, basically. Like you're going to play pro scrims. There's no cheaters because everyone's on console at that point. So that does make sense. I don't know how they determine if voice chat's enabled or disabled, because there's open mic and then push to talk.
Push talk and
so
I always have voice chat disabled. I don't really love to hear these fucking crazy
me
kids. Well, I can deal with you. It's dealing with like the general public of just screaming nonsense. Like, so I just turn it off. Like, your screaming nonsense is different. I've come to terms with that. It's random people I haven't come to terms with, so I just don't let them. I don't want to hear them. So
then they go on to say, so those are considered like the overarching factors, and then they go into let's get more technical on these factors.
Yeah.
We'll skip all this. So Call of Duty's matchmaking process evaluates a metric we call delta ping. So which is the difference in round trip time of the data between your best data center, so whatever's closest to you, and the data center on which your lobby has been placed. Again,
correct.
That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Skip all that. It makes sense. Like, short wait times, good ping. Duh. Okay.
Yeah.
Measuring time to match for matchmaking. So this was actually pretty interesting to me. So, in basically it goes, for example, in popular Modern Warfare 3 Rustment playlist, players often leave lobbies and/or matches early on, hoping to requeue into shipment instead. This creates a vacant spot on a team during an early stage of the match. As the matchmaking process may prioritize backfilling that spot, this could result in players perceiving that Rust is disproportionately selected over shipment. Too long didn't read. Trying to cherry pick maps may have an unexpected result. So this makes total sense, because if you're playing right and you're just getting shipment, or rust,
right,
it's because some guy's just sitting there backing out, just trying to get shipment.
The other map, yeah.
And it's just going to prioritize getting that full.
Right.
So again, yes, that makes sense. Measuring skill. So skill is determined based on a player's overall performance, kills, deaths, win, losses, and more, including mode selection and region matches, as an overall metric across all multiplayer experiences. This is a fluid measurement that's consistently updating and reacting to your gameplay. So there were a lot of conspiracy theories around this, because there's always been this, and I truly to this day believe that it's a thing, skill-based hit reg.
Yep.
That the better you are, like say you come up against a bot, and it knows that you're shooting a bot, basically, like, or a lesser skilled player, it's going to nerf you in real time, and it's not going to reg. This is basically saying that's not a thing. We don't do that. We never have. But in that same thing, it also says that, so Call of Duty has historically considered player performance among other factors as part of the matchmaking process. Again, ping, all that kind of stuff. This has been around since 2007.
I don't know. Like, I just know that I'm not very good. So I just know that maybe my bullets don't reg, but I think that's probably just because I'm bad. So it's probably because I just miss completely. The one big thing that I got out of this blog, actually, and I did read actually part of this, was the if you go down to the bottom where it says, have you ever tested removing skill as a consideration for matchmaking? It says, we've run tests over the years to determine if removing skill as a consideration from matchmaking makes sense. We will continue to launch these tests periodically. To date, the data remains consistent with what we did above. Players tend to quit matches or stop playing if they're getting blown out. Personally, I don't think they've ever done it. I think they're just saying it to save face. Like, I don't think they've ever done shit like that, personally. Like, you can say it all you want. Like, we've done it. We just don't tell anybody. We don't disclose it. Of course you don't disclose it, because you don't fucking do it. Like, you don't gotta lie about it, I
get what they're trying to do, because it seems like what they're trying to do is create, in just like they do in college and at my job, across most professions. They're trying to create a bell-shaped curve where in this match, the first thing that they do, they get a bunch of people that are matchmaking close to each other. Then they get one really good guy, a bunch of average guys, and a shitter. They put that guy on they put them on a team. Then over here, they do the exact same thing, and then they play. So it all depends on, like, if you're a really good player, like if you're the top person in that lobby, it depends on the skill of the average guys that are in the middle. And that determines on whether or not your lobby then becomes a sweaty lobby or if you're hypothetically shooting bots. Because at the end of the day, like, this is still a game based off of teamwork, you know, moving around objectives, all that kind of thing. So that, I think that gets lost in the conversation. But you still get into those lobbies because it's clear that they're not prioritizing necessarily like KDs, win-loss. Like, they're prioritizing, can we get you into a lobby, get you there quick, and ensure that this game lasts long.
And ensure the game goes the whole distance.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, the longer you play, the more money that they make.
Correct.
Or the more dopamine goes into my brain, and then I want to play that game more and more and more.
The more 7-hour sessions I'm going to have on my days off, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I think the whole matchmaking system is kind of annoying, personally, but it's a game. It is what it is. We're gonna. The fucked up thing is we're gonna play it regardless. Is what's ass about it. So.
They answer community questions.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about at the bottom. The community questions. That's where I literally pulled my whole thing I was just talking about.
Oh yeah, this spending money. Does spending money on Call of Duty content change how players are matched? Money spent does not in any way, shape, or form factor into matchmaking.
And that is bullshit, because I went into a lobby with all ducks the other day. I was like, there's no way. There's
literally no way. Ducks.
Every person was a duck except me. And I'm like, okay, like I didn't buy the duck. Why am I in this lobby, you know?
This is a good one. I didn't even think about this. Does Call of Duty use bots in multiplayer matchmaking?
100%.
That's interesting.
Have you ever seen the clips on YouTube of like, you just have like guys like just literally they're army crawling across the fucking middle of a road.
But I wonder if they just like boot up into a private match and then like they use that clip as like a
maybe,
you know,
I mean, that's
people have done it. It's not like far-fetched to like,
no, it's not. You're correct. It's not far-fetched to do that, but like for the amount of clips that are out there, dude, I'm like, I don't know, man. I think there's some truth to the bots being in like Warzone. I don't think there's bots in like multiplayer, but I think there's definitely bots in Warzone.
In Warzone? Well, yeah, they have the AI bot things that, or you're talking actual.
Oh, I'm talking like actual
team
drop
bots.
in from the plane into the game bots, not the fucking strongholds.
That would be. I don't know.
Or maybe
people have said
honestly, maybe I'm just better. Maybe I don't know.
Just better.
I doubt it. But.
Listen, I haven't spawned into a lobby yet where I've gotten the bots, you know, aiming the other way and shooting at the wall.
I mean,
not once.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think I've actually.
I played 37 games and lost every single one of them.
Yeah, you did. Actually, I don't think you ever finished that streak, by the way.
No, because Brand came out and then that was chalked.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I'd still be awake. It wouldn't be over.
I'd be awake. I'd be on day 66 of trying to fucking win a Warzone game.
Be stupid. My wife would hate me.
Well, sometimes I think she already does, but you know.
Yeah,
okay.
That's fair. That's fair.
At times, yeah, at times. Mine does too. It's fine. It's fine. In other gaming news, there's a new sensation taking over the world right now. It seems like that Palworld. I don't think you've played it. I know I haven't played it yet. I've read about it, and like I saw this thing that like it was the number 2 game that was played concurrently on Steam behind PUBG, which loved PUBG back in the day. Can't stand it now, but I loved it back in the day.
I can't believe people are still playing PUBG. That's actually insane.
Also true.
Like that's
also true.
Wait, so PUBG is the most concurrent game played right now?
Of all time. Not necessarily right now.
Okay.
Like so like Palworld had like it was
insane.
Like I think Palworld was like 2.2 million people concurrently playing. PUBG set the record at like 3.4 million.
That's nuts.
So like yeah, right. But Palworld to me it just seems like a grown-up Pokemon. I mean, they're getting sued, or Pokemon came out with a statement saying that they were going to look into it.
Yeah, they know that they can't sue them.
Yeah, they probably can't.
Are the manufacturers, are they like a U.S. company, or is it like an international?
Pretty sure it's a U.S. company.
Okay.
So, because I know that...
Because like Take-Two Interactive and like all those guys they're like Chinese companies.
Yeah. Because I know that the one... How they said they got all the designs for the actual pals. That's because I don't know what they're called. I think I'm just going to call them pals.
Makes sense.
It's literally they took like some grad student from some university like 2 or 3 years ago and said, "Hey, just draw up some shit for us." Like literally, this person just drew up like however many of these things. Said, "Here you go," and that was it. I was like, "Oh, okay."
I feel like there's this Pokemon cycle, kind of like the COD cycle, where every I'm going to call it 15 months, probably not right, but every 15 months. There is a new iteration of Pokemon that everyone just goes absolutely apeshit for.
Crazy about.
Pokemon Go. Remember that? People standing in the middle of the freeway to catch a goddamn Pokemon.
Go.
I never did it. My wife did it. I never did it.
I used to live with a couple of my buddies, and I remember waking up, like it was like 3 a.m. I was like sitting there, I was like, God, dude, why did I wake up in the middle of the night? And like there was a gym that was like at a church, like down the road from my house. I remember just getting out of bed and just running across this massive field, taking the gym at 3 a.m, and then going back to bed. It's like it's a joke.
Well, the poor guy was sleeping.
Oh yeah, dude, he had no chance.
Like how did that work? Because I didn't play, so like.
Yeah, so like you could just go and like so basically if you took over a gym, you would put your best Pokemon at it, and then someone could just come up and just fight your shit.
But if that person wasn't like there,
no, they didn't have to be there. It didn't matter, like because their Pokemon just stayed at the gym. I believe that's how it worked. That's what I remember. Yeah, just stay at the gym, And
because there was like car accidents. In
in
Philadelphia, like because people would literally park their car on the side of the road because there was some epic Pokemon in the middle of 76, which is a 6-lane highway, and like they're stopping traffic.
Gotta catch them all, baby. Gotta catch them all.
Like
I get it.
There was mobs, like, and this was during COVID, so like no one had any, like everyone was home, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Holy shit, guys!" And then
this is a real problem.
Dude, because I get all my news off of Twitter, so like that stuff was like trending, and
we my buddy, same time period of when I took my gym at 3 a.m. He was this was before COVID, so he was working. He already worked from home, and this dude didn't wear pants like all day long. He would just put on boxers and a t-shirt and just work. And I remember him. We were all sitting on the couch one night. He was upstairs in like his room, and it was probably like 6 o'clock. We thought he was off work and just hanging out upstairs. And this dude just comes sprinting down the stairs. He's like, Charizard at Star! Charizard at Star! And he just fucking flies out the door on a bike just to go catch this Charizard at a school like 3 blocks from us. I was like, what is wrong with you, dude?
Was there any I
also got on a bike and went too, so.
Was there like, if I'm a business, right? Like, could I contact Pokemon Go and be like, hey, put one of them bitches here?
I mean, maybe. I don't know for sure. I know there was an app you could get at one point that showed you like spawn timings of different Pokemon in certain places and shit. So like, I don't know, dude. It was a whole thing. I haven't played it in a long time, but it was a whole thing for a hot minute there. It's still pretty popular. I've had people message me about it from the food truck and stuff too.
It's still a thing, right? Like it hasn't.
Yeah. I don't think it's like as big as it was.
Yeah, it was like
I think it still has like a niche market. Yeah, it's still got a niche market where it's like you got some diehards in there.
I did
who are just like gotta catch them all, brother.
I did see in Palworld there's like a really fat Pikachu.
What?
There's it's like Pikachu, but they made him like 500 pounds.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude's been eating.
I guess I gotta. I don't know. Everyone's talking about it. Like in our group chat and stuff, like people.
Our group chat, like you got a couple of guys that just are into it.
It's a survival game, right?
Correct. Yep.
So is it like Tarkov? Like if you lose, you lose everything. I guess, right? Like I don't know.
I would assume, but I'd have to look into it a little bit more. The concept is cool to me, but again, I liked Pokemon when I was a kid, so it probably would just be like a updated version, a different version of Pokemon.
Right.
But
is it free?
Speaking of, no, I think it's like $30 or something like that.
30's not bad.
No,
I was gonna get overcooked for $30.
Hey, I know you were really trying to sell me on that for like.
We're gonna play it.
I really doubt it, but
the people want to see it.
If the people want to see it, I'll do it.
The people, as in me.
until I have more than you telling me. I have more than you telling me.
Could you imagine the Bubble Boys in a virtual kitchen?
I don't want to, but I can.
It would be chaos.
It'd be really dumb. We're already kind of not smart most of the time, and I think it would just be madness. But the video you did send of like the guy freaking out on his wife was,
oh my god,
the best.
She had to do better. She clearly wasn't ready.
Yes, chef.
Yes,
yes, chef. I was like, dude, you are a fucking loser, but I respect it. But yeah, maybe someday I'll give Palworld a chance. I don't know. I'll let Ryan tell me about it more before I get too deep into it.
Yeah, because Ryan's been playing it. Keegan,
GT's been playing it, I think, too.
Kazzy.
Oh, I didn't even know Kaz played it too, huh?
I think so.
Man, maybe it's something we should play.
Depends.
Now that we're behind and everything.
Depends.
I mean, my buddies play.
Can we play together?
I don't know. Probably.
I feel like we need to know the answers to this.
Yeah, my buddies play Escape from Tarkov like it's their job right now. And dude, have you ever played that before?
Yeah. I wanted to play with G, but we could never like time up our schedules to like play it.
Yeah.
But it was annoying because every time, like the first like 5 games I played, I think it was nighttime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm just walking around in the dark, and then next thing you know, I'm dead. Like,
yeah,
some guy walks up with night vision, and I'm just like walking down the street. You know.
So that's one of those games to me. It's way too immersive for me. Like because there's just so much going on. It feels like once you get back to like your bunker or whatever the hell it's called, like it's just way too much for me. I'm like, I can't figure this out.
And I had no idea where the extract things were. So like, even if I did kill someone or get something, I didn't know where the
fuck do I get out?
Where was I going? in the dark? Like,
yeah,
I just kept losing stuff, and then like, I don't know. I guess it saves your progress. Oh no, there's resets.
Yeah.
Maybe try it again. I still have it.
Yeah, so I've got it. I just don't know. I don't know how much I would play it because, dude, I tell myself this every time. Like, oh, I'm going to play a different game. Then Call of Duty comes out. I'm like, well, no, I'm not. Like, I'm just going to play Call of Duty forever.
I got to be honest. If Call of Duty keeps it up, wait till, what is it, 6? GTA 6?
Oh, yeah.
I might retire and become a roleplay guy.
Dude, just the roleplay servers on GTA are so cool.
They look extremely fun.
So cool.
Because I'm a big TikToker, right? So, like,
yeah, you are.
I get the guy that like he's like a medically retired sheriff or whatever.
Yeah.
And he plays as a cop in GTA roleplay.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
I mean, like it looks fun, like the roleplay servers and shit. Like they look cool. It's just I for some reason I feel like you have to be on it all the time, and like maybe there's times where you don't have to. I don't know, but. To me, it seems like you just have to be on it consistently, and like that's something I can't really commit to because, again, I'm just going to end up playing Call of Duty. It's what's going to happen because I'm a trash can, and I will be no different.
I don't even know if this is good news, but like I saw they moved the person from Activision
over to Blizzard to be the CEO.
Is that what they did?
I believe so, yeah.
And it was a woman.
I mean... And it was so you say it like it's a bad thing. Like, you say it like it's a bad thing. Like, hey, it's a woman. Like, what does that mean? But I don't know. It's probably hopefully it's for the best. I guess I don't know. Like I haven't had trust in Blizzard in anything since they had the whole rapey scandal come out like a couple years ago.
I mean, they're not doing nearly as bad as WWE is right now.
Well. I mean,
that is quite the situation.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Raw going to Netflix too? Like, isn't that a thing?
Yes,
I saw that.
Yeah,
maybe I'll start watching Raw again, dude.
Imagine, dude. Oh my god, the documentaries that they're gonna pump out are gonna be insane.
How many ESPN 30 for 30s are gonna be just on wrestlers?
Insane, and I'm here for every single one of them.
Dude, yeah, you're a big wrestling guy,
dude. So I watched the Rumble on Saturday when I got home. I was working and I texted Megan. I was like, "Hey, I'm on the way home. You want to like drink some beer and watch the Rumble with me?"
That sounds like pretty on brand for you.
Yeah. So she plays along. It's cool. She's like, you know, It's definitely not her favorite thing, but like she has a drink.
Yeah,
she had an excuse to drink. I'm like,
hell yeah.
But the Rumble was good. But they are clearly in a weird spot.
Yeah.
This is, in my opinion, though, this is the best case scenario for WWE because now Triple H and Shawn Michaels are going to run that. And
I know those guys.
Yeah. With them kind of running things now, like completely like no Vince oversight, I'm really excited for
the trajectory
future.
It's going to take.
Yeah. They just signed with the parent company it was TKO that also owns UFC. So I think you're going to start to see a lot of segues from like, and this is what I'm really excited for. You might see Conor McGregor in the WWE at some point.
Why are you excited for that?
Because it's the character.
Are you a Conor McGregor guy?
I'm Irish. He is a god. There is only one true God, and it is him.
And it's not Conor McGregor.
It's him.
Dude, you make my brain hurt. I see why you're the way that you are, though. Makes sense. The Conor McGregor thing, you're just idolizing him as God. Yeah, that makes sense.
He is. Okay. He was sent.
He was sent from the heavens above.
He was sent
to the lands of us.
To the Isle of Ire. To rule.
Shut the fuck up.
He crossed the pond to rape, pillage, and plunder. And then lose to Khabib.
To lose to Khabib. So
yeah. We don't talk about that one. That was an anomaly.
That was an anomaly. That didn't happen. It didn't actually.
There was a higher power on that one.
That wasn't Conor McGregor, apparently. God. Speaking of other sports too, how do you feel about the Super Bowl matchup?
Dumb. Kansas City gets the confetti. Was that the script?
100% that's a script.
No. Was the script? I remember you said Kansas City. Did you say Niners?
Technically, the script was supposed to be the Ravens. Because if you look at the Super Bowl logo, it has like the purple and the red. So it's the Ravens and the Chiefs.
But Mahomes said no.
Or sorry, the Ravens and the 49ers. I'm sorry. Ravens and 49ers.
But Mahomes said nah.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce said nah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like
Andy Reid said nah.
I think it's just it's a really lame Super Bowl matchup.
I just want to know. I want to know how the Ravens went from the most rushing attempt team to then rushing 6 times.
Try to change up stuff that worked in the regular season, and then just like, oh, let's change it up, throw them off their game, because I'm sure the Chiefs probably planned for it.
Because it's one of two things, right? Either Spagnuolo was able to force them in game to change the way that they were going to play, or they were like, yeah, we're smarter than the other blah 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 blah, and then clearly that didn't work.
No, obviously did not work.
I don't know which one's worse. Like, I don't know which one benefits either.
Personally, I think like the Super Bowl matchup that I wanted to see was the Lions versus the Ravens. I am not a Lions fan. I have been one of my best friends is like a massive Lions fan, so like he's been in the dumps for 32 years now. And so like just seeing him get all excited was cool. But like I've watched that team throughout the year, and like, Dan Campbell's got massive nuts. Like his balls are the size of my head, which good for him. And I like that he didn't differentiate from his game plan of like always going for it on 4th down, especially like if the analytics say you're going to say something stupid. I don't want you to say it. But
he did.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't change his game plan. He did exactly what got them there, and he just kept going for it.
But it was 4th and 2 on the 2-yard line. And he kicked a field goal.
But for the most part, throughout.
And then when he should have kicked the field goal, he didn't.
I get it. But
you can't. Okay, you can't play the card that you're the 4th down guy, and then when you should have actually gone for it, you kicked a field goal. If they score on that run, they're up 4. It would have been 30.
It would have been 31-10.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, okay, you have a point. I get it. But I think what really screwed them was the interception attempt where it hit off dude's helmet and Brandon Ayuk catches it over it.
That was wild.
Wild as fuck, by the way. But that just like completely changed the outcome of the game. Like that, you just saw all the wind in their sails just completely die. The stadium went nuts. Like, you have the crowd against you on the road. Your first road playoff game in, I don't know, 67 years or whatever the fuck it was. Like, yeah, it's tough. And you have, like, you know, your team is built a lot around, like, rookies and, you know, younger players. So, yeah, they get the experience, which is good. But I would have liked to have seen them in the Super Bowl over the 49ers and Chiefs, personally.
Agreed.
Because I think it's just a fucking... It's not even that fun to watch. Like, I like watching Super Bowl teams that are, like... You didn't expect them to be there. Like, yeah, they were good, but like maybe you didn't expect it. Like, it was going to be a long shot that they get there, but now you're like, yeah, we kind of figured these two would be in it. Like, if you were the betting man, like, you probably put money on one of these two teams at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So,
I would have loved to see Andy Reid versus Dan Campbell. I feel like that would have been fun. Like that's a cool storyline.
That would have been fun.
Now the whole storyline, there's only one storyline that I've heard so far.
Yeah.
Just one.
This Taylor Swift one is all I've heard about.
Will she get to the Super Bowl?
I'm so...
That's what we're talking about. That's what's in the news. What should be in the news, honestly, is Christian McCaffrey's neck together?
Together.
Did you see that at the end of the game?
Yeah. It's...
no one was talking about it, but when you watch that replay and you kind of slow it down, that looked bad.
It didn't look good.
Like, his neck compressed.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's just a stinger. I'm sure it's just a stinger. At least, I mean, but no one's talking about it.
Hope for it. You hope it is.
I haven't heard anyone talk about it. And they showed he was getting massaged. Like, they were like rubbing down his neck at the end of that game. You know, as the final seconds, as they were kneeling, like they cut to him and like he was getting his neck worked on.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Shit. But all anyone's talking about today, I've seen.
Can't take you seriously, dude.
All I've seen.
Reset.
All I've seen on TikTok was people mapping out like how long it would take if her concert ended at 12 at this time and then a 13-hour flight. And I'm like, I kind of
she's gonna be there.
Yeah,
she's gonna be there.
I give her props if she's there because holy shit, that's nuts.
She'll be there. Let's.
She's
be honest,
flying 13 hours to Tokyo.
Okay.
Then she's gonna do 4 straight nights of shows.
Yeah. And
then hop on a plane, overnight that bitch, and then just walk to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
that's nuts. You want to talk about Adderall?
You want to talk about Adderall?
You want to talk about doing everything you can?
Yeah, she'll be there. I mean, so like part of me, like I've seen like both sides of this argument. Where, like, man, everyone should stop talking about Taylor Swift and football, and like, you know, and then you have people who are like, oh man, guys who are just mad about Taylor Swift being talked about are just angry guys. I'm like, okay, like everyone's got a whole. There's always two sides to everything, and it's kind of annoying. Personally, like I just think like let's just focus on the football. Personally, that's just
doesn't seem like anyone wants to do that. Seems like this is just a boring football game that
dude. Do you see how much
no one
money,
wants to watch?
Do you see how much money her being associated with the Chiefs and the NFL has made them?
I was going to ask you if you knew that
it's
wonderful,
insane.
That wonderful number.
It is fucking insane.
353.
It's like 311 or 300 something million dollars. I'm like, what the fuck?
My wife was like, how did they determine that? Okay, Meg, you look at ticket sales, you look at merch sales, you look at away ticket sales, you look at all the ad revenue that has been generated. Like, think about how much every time there was a Chiefs primetime game, companies were banging down the door because they knew that you
every
weren't just getting
Swiftie is gonna be
football.
watching.
Exactly. Like you weren't just getting football people. You were getting, my wife who isn't really the biggest football fan and her sister who is the least football savvy person sitting there watching because they wanted to see how Taylor Swift would react.
Right.
And you can pay. Companies were getting I guarantee you, NFL was getting top dollar for those ad spots on those primetime games. If the Chiefs were playing,
it's part of the script, dude. So the script was always going to be that Taylor Swift's going to date somebody in the NFL. Like they were going to try to merge them. Like I mean, let's be honest. That's how Roger Goodell's going to make more money.
I had Chiefs money line solely based off of the script.
See.
So I'm like, they're not gonna this, and there were some questionable calls.
There was some questionable calls.
There were some. There were some calls.
My buddy and I got into it one time. We were talking about like how many Swifties are there in the world. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I don't know, probably endless. Like 5, 6. He's like 5 or 6 million. I was like, you are so astronomically wrong. It's disgusting. I was like, so he doesn't have social media. He doesn't use social media at all. And so I just right. So his life's probably way better. And so I picked up my phone and just showed him. I was like, she has like 300 million Instagram followers. I'm like, minimum half of them are Swifties, as they call themselves. Like, and if you're a Swiftie, good for you. Like, do your thing. Like, have something you like. That's great. But like, that's how the NFL's going to make so much money off of her.
They're loving it.
Because you have all these people who don't watch football. Like, I'll watch the Taylor Swift game for the fucking Taylor Swift reactions. So
think about it. She went to every major city in the United States, sold out 2, sometimes even 3 nights in a row, and she had thousands of people outside of the stadium having their own concert.
Yep.
Like, the reach is endless, but
her phenomena is just crazy to me.
I don't even think she's that good.
I mean, I get down to some Taylor Swift though, like. You don't like Taylor Swift?
My daughter does.
I got like a whole like playlist on my phone. I'm just Taylor Swift, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying I'm a Swiftie, but I'm saying I can get down. I
think Beyonce is such a better performer. No? Huh? She's married to Jay-Z?
Well, Taylor Swift's about to be married to Travis Kelce, bro. Because as soon as the Chiefs win the Super Bowl in the script, Travis Kelce's proposing to her, dude.
Ooh, is he dropping to a knee under the confetti?
Come on, dude. It's like her storybook ending in one of her stupid CDs.
That's
I'm telling you, whatever era it was, like the storybook football player proposing at Super Bowl. I guarantee you, it's somewhere in the song. Shit.
Oh shit. Wait, last thing. I heard.
Yeah.
Since
we got one more thing to talk about, by the way.
I'm new to the scene. Morgan Wallen got into some trouble.
Oh,
with sure I guess he had signed early in his career to like multiple record labels.
Yeah,
and they're re-releasing his basically there was recorded songs that they had that weren't released that now they're releasing them.
Okay.
And then I guess Morgan Wallen was in the woods and he heard about it and he went and wrote a song and then released it.
Maybe. I haven't listened to, I really haven't kept up on music a whole lot. I mean, I remember when you said he got in trouble. I would love
some Morgan Wallen.
I like Morgan Wallen. I can get down.
I'm a new country boy. Hardy.
Yeah, you are.
Hardy, my guy.
Mm-hmm.
My guy.
Hardy's dope.
But
last thing I wanted to talk about, we could talk about it briefly because I know it's a little pain in your heart. The WGL Mini League Championship that we played yesterday. I just wanted to say thank you for my Mickey Mouse ring. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I will be wearing it at all times whenever I'm around any of you to make sure you remember that I won it. So,
you know what I realized?
What's that?
Sam is now tied for the second most rings in WGL history.
That's awesome. I love that for Samuel.
As far as I know, and this list might be longer, but I know Ryan has the most at 4.
Okay.
And then me, Kyle, Sam, and maybe one or two more people have 3.
Say, I've got 2.
Connor has 2 now.
I have 2.
Connor has 2.
Gonna make it 3, obviously, but
yeah, we're gonna go over those power rankings and
yeah, we are. Next,
I'll show you what I think about. I'll show you what I think about that squad.
I will gladly take your opinion.
Oh god,
and then shit all over. But again, I want to thank you for letting me win that. Very, very nice of you, gentlemen. Granted, I didn't do anything. I will say that on record, I was useless the whole series.
You showed up. You spawned in.
I showed up. I spawned in, and I just made sure I was a bullet farm for Rabs and Connor. So I did my job.
Yeah, I did my part.
I did my part. So.
Yo, so if you would have heard our comms in the. In the control, right? Control.
Yeah.
I think like something was happening. I think like we were on point or something like that, and we were trying. And I go, I'm doing my part. Ryan goes, I'm doing my part. Kyle goes, oh shit.
I ain't doing fucking shit.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I realized during that match. And then watching CDL that you cannot just play Rival.
No.
Like you can't solely play Rival. And
you have to be able to go back and forth.
So
you have to.
I actually like today I was messing around just playing with the MCW and I was dropping the most kills that I've ever had. Like 30-point games in control. Like it's the gun is just so stupidly overpowered.
There's so many AR heavy maps too in this game.
Yes.
But it's like you can't just play a Rival. So there's like times where you're playing 4 ARs and you're like, this feels weird, but it's kind of needed at some point.
Yeah.
So.
It is incredibly hard to be a sub player in this game. And I think to your point, 100% has to do like if you're talking root cause of what the problem is, it's the maps.
Oh yeah. The maps are like there's just it feels like there's not a ton of diversity in them. Like, it's definitely an AR player's game, for sure.
And that gun on LAN?
Probably gross.
It was gross.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, if we're talking about gross guns, get rid of the Renetti.
Dude.
I was watching people run around just with the Renetti.
Just with the Renetti.
Just crazy. With the Renetti getting 2 pieces and then switching back because they would get a couple shots off of the MCW and then just weapon swap and just I'm like, what is this? Like, when in the history of Call of Duty was there a secondary that acted as a primary?
So why is it whenever we dropped into Warzone, Ryan would always say, what pistol did we start with? And whenever we say the Renetti, he'd be like, all right, we got guns, baby.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. You get the hand cannon, you're screwed, but
if you get the hand cannon, you're like, bah,
it's GG's.
Please let me find something.
But dude,
if you get the Renetti, like, dude, we could take a lobby on with Renettis.
Dude, I'd rather people run around with the knife now because it's 2 hits.
Right.
Now, I think they're going to get rid of the Renetti because they were playing on the old patch for Major 1. So with that being said, the knife was still a 1 hit. But now that they're playing on the new patch and the new spawns and all that kind of stuff, I think that there's a pretty good
chance they all move to knives. Just for the
because the Renetti was like disgusting.
It's great. I actually am kind of for it.
Zuma was like, dude, these guys are running around with a shotgun pistol.
Dude, I was playing it earlier with Edwin, and I got a final kill with the Renetti. And he's like, "Oh, nice with the pistol." I was like, "I mean, if you want to call it that, it's fine."
No, it's not like to me, it's not even like a skill thing at that point because that thing just, up close shreds.
It's dead.
It's like a 2 burst, but
it's fucking wonderful. But I think that is all the topics we have for this evening / day, whenever you guys actually listen to this. Unless you have anything else you want to speak of.
We are all good, my friend. That was a good episode.
Perfect. All right.
Some good stuff.
Good.
Send us home,
my brother. Send us home. Well,
give me something.
I can't. What do you? I don't know what you.
Give me a good sign off or something. You know, like
a good.
You haven't thought about anything yet.
No, dude, I don't. My brain doesn't work.
You stay classy, San Diego.
No, well, that's copyright probably. We probably get sued if we say that. How about
we'll be like the Pat McAfee show. Don't sue us.
Don't sue us.
Don't sue us.
Let's here. I'll sign off with our Twitch account so we can get more followers and hopefully become Twitch streamers for us. For our lives.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Right.
Follow me, twitch.tv/DuggerVision.
Follow me, twitch.tv/Cousin Tyler.
Perfect. Let's go play Call of Duty.
See you guys later.